NFL Spread Pod. It's Holden, it's Title, it's RubioDimes, it's NBA season next week. And I want to remind everybody, RPS NBA 15, 15% off the lifetime of your subscription. The lifetime of your subscription is what you're going to get when you sign up. RPS NBA 15 if you're not already a subscriber. I know Title's pumped about the NBA. Rubio, I'm not so sure. Rubio seems more of a soccer guy.
Oh my, the NBA is my favorite.
The NBA is your favorite?
It's that and soccer, 1A and 1B.
Yeah, of course. And then Title, I think, I used to think Title was an NFL first guy, but you're another NBA guy. It's amazing. Run Pure Sports that I think we got more NBA guys. Number one sport, not as good at DFS. I'm not talking about anything DFS. I think a lot more of you guys are NBA guys than NFL guys. I feel like I'm standing here in an island by myself.
I mean that depends on So is it my favorite to watch, or my favorite is NFL because it's not year round and it's pretty much once a week, that the main slate. My most profitable is definitely NBA because it's every day. It's not as much variant like baseball. Your home run variance is so wide. I mean, it makes up for so much of your points. Basketball, you can't get 25 points on one possession. It's more steady. You can predict minutes better. You predict usage rate. It's a lot. There's less variance. There's more knowns, and it just our team does a very good job. So basketball is my most profitable. Football is my favorite. MMA is right there with football is my favorite too. But I love NBA too. Those three are by far my favorite. I like MLB, but it's definitely a distant fourth. I'll say that.
RubioDimes, hello. What's going on in your world right now? What's happening?
Oh, it's a rainy day outside. I can hear the rain dripping up from the outside with my window slightly open. My puppy gets groomed tomorrow. I mean, it's going to be a busy week. We got the NBA preseason tonight. I mean, it's going to be a lot going on.
Okay. All right. Very good. Coordinator free roll last week. I just learned that Title finished sixth. Is that what you said?
Sixth, yeah.
Okay. Sixth. And then there was Rubio, who lost to me, which is interesting.
Should have done the hot chip challenge. That's all I got to say. I mean, I'd be eating a chip right now if you guys weren't scared.
The hot chip challenge.
There's no way you would have been able to talk through a podcast after you ate a chip.
See, I'm not soft like Holden.
Oh, then you tell him. Tell him there's no chance he's talking.
I'm not. That was funny. That was actually kind of funny.
Tell him there's no chance he's
talking. No, he would cry.
Our show.
He would legit cry.
All right, I guess Rubio. The only way you can prove us wrong is you do it next week.
The only way I can prove you wrong is if you guys bet me and I come in last. But you guys were scared to make the bet.
I'll buy you the chip.
Talk about making a bet, did we?
We did.
Rubio did to me. You said you were going to be out of it.
Speaking of that, I lost $100 the title. So Steve ended up losing the title, but Susie kicked Title's ass, and then Title kicked my ass. So, the 50-50 bet, and then it was $100. So Title, I don't know if you want to give your Venmo out to the entire world or not, but I owe you $100 right now, and I'm ready to pay.
All right, you can you can do my Venmo. So it's Zach, Z-A-C-H.
Oh my God.
I gotta look at it.
What's your last name? Trivet, isn't it? Just Trivet?
Everyone knows it. Yeah, but it's either a hypost, it's a dash. All right, so it's dash. Zach dash. I didn't know if it was dash or underscore.
I'm sorry to our listening audience that you have to endure.
Zach. Some of the listeners know the Zach Trivet Venmo as well. Zach dash Trivet, Trivett.
He just slid that little humble brag in there. He's like, some of them know it too.
That doesn't mean I necessarily want them all. Sometimes I gotta send on Venmo too.
Yes. Yeah. So Susie, by the way, let me just give a shout out to Susie. Susie just cleaning up. Like this woman, it's not just tennis with her. She's so good. When she finished fifth, she finished fifth among the coordinators. So that's good. And I didn't expect Steve Boynton to do anything. He didn't even watch the NFL. I mean, that guy's just all baseball, and then baseball ends. I do love the college hoops, though. He's terrific in the college hoops. So we'll start being friends again then. But.
I will say, Steve. So Steve actually, when I said that on the show, I did forget. He told me he's been playing NFL cash games, which I totally forgot when he said that, since 2015. So I guess he does NFL still don't even know if Susie grinds NFL every week, but I assume she does with the score and the team she put up. She messaged me on Thursday when we were messing the coordinator chat and all that. She goes, so if I beat you, you shave your hair? And I was like, no chance, which I'm glad, which there was no chance I was going to say yes, but I'm very happy that it was just funny she said that. I was never considering it, but if I said yes, Title will never have his hair shaved the rest of his life. So.
I think Susie needs to hop on the pod. I think we're going to get Susie on this pod here. Spice it up a little bit.
She's young. She's young. So that would work.
She is young, right? Yeah, I get it. Yeah, she's young enough to be on the young guys and be the young people's pod. But I think we should have special guest Susie.
True.
That'll be good. We'll get that going. All right, guys. So we got the free roll out of the way. We got a lot going on in the NFL. We're obviously going to break down.
I still didn't get it, Rubio. Not to interrupt Holden. But
what's the last 4 of your phone number?
6556. But you can compare without confirming.
Can you give out your social too?
What are people about to somehow guess the rest of my stuff?
Yeah. No, just give out your whole social except the last number. Nobody will figure that out either.
Yeah, that's the same.
Just do that because there's only a few ways. There's only a few ways that can go.
Yeah, exactly. That's not happening.
Hey, I do want to talk NBA just real quick before we get into this NFL because there are so many people that play NBA. It's by far and away the second biggest DFS sport. It's really not even close. And it's the same way in betting. It's like the NFL, college football on their own tier. And then, the next planet would be the NBA and then baseball and everything else. So title RPS NBA 15. When you sign up, like what are some of the tools? What are some of the things we're helping people with? Last year was the first year I ever grinded NBA. I made money. I mean, you can be a jabroni like me. Seriously, I grinded NBA. I enjoyed it. It was profitable. What do we got for our subscribers?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing, when you sign up, you got to make sure you're in Discord. Discord's the most important thing. You get all the latest up-to-date news. If there's a scratch, who's in the lineups, all that stuff. So we're all in there. We're answering questions. But we have a playbook like we have in every sport. AP did it mainly last year. I assume he'll probably be the main one to do it this year. Breaks down your favorite studs, values, each position, all of that stuff, like all the playbooks. Very good information. AP does a great job on it. Have the GPP cores like we always do. Big T, AP. I was on the cores a decent amount last year for GPs, whoever's on it. We have a cash chart just like we have for all the other stuff. Hoopman, going myself, two of us three are going to be on, one on FanDuel, one on DraftKings. Give 3 core plays, give a player pool, which is real. I mean, whether you play GPPs, whether you play cash, it's good to know the chalk, whether you want to get off the chalk here, get off whatever, you want to eat a chalk at this position. It's very important. And then, I'm not sure exactly. Those are the main things that I utilize: playbook, cash chart, core plays. And then we have 2 shows every day for NBA. You and JSU did Up to Lock last year. I saw the schedule came out. It looks like we're doing a 3-man booth for most of those shows now. I saw Big T on.
Cool.
Yeah. It looks like, I saw Big T on.
Hold on a second, because last year we did 3-man shows to remember correctly. So we got 3-man shows.
Up to Lock, you guys did on the schedule?
Because Tony always stopped by or Fallick would hop on. Now I guess it's like,
But now it's official.
Right.
Yeah.
So like I got JSU and Tony with me next week, DC and Bobby with me.
Yep.
JSU and Tony. So you'll get JSU and Tony a lot, and then you'll get the rest of our crew mixing into on the Up to Lock.
Yep. So I mean, JSU is one of the best in the world. Big T, like they're going to be on JSU won't be on the free show really. So if you want his takes, you're going to have to be a member. Big T looks like he's going to be on the Up to Lock more than he is on the free shows now. So if you want his takes, you're going to have to be a member. Then the free shows, I'm on the free show once in a while. AP is going to be on a DC. We'll mix and stuff like that. So similar to baseball, 2 shows every day, playbook, core plays, GPP, and all that stuff. And like you said, I mean, NBA is by far the biggest or second biggest DFS sport. Every day there's $100+ $1,000 to up top tournaments, cash games. They can fill as much action pretty much as you want. So make sure to check it out. It's a really, really fun sport because you got to be monitoring your phone until lock, past lock. Like that's why there's an edge though. And we're in Discord breaking it all down. Make sure you sign up. I can't wait.
Okay. Rubio, I do need a personal update on you. Where are you as far as proposing to your girlfriend? And when are you going to London?
London's January, proposing. Wow, that's big. That's big, Holden. Whoa, calm down now. Calm down.
I mean,
I don't know how
take
close.
A girl to London, you better buy your ring at this point. You kind of
Stop.
screwed yourself.
Stop. No, I don't think those two go hand in hand completely. I think you're gonna start creating like a little swirl in her mind.
Does she
here,
listen to
and-
the podcast?
No
No.
shot.
So
no shot.
here, I'm
No
telling
shot.
you right now, dude. You go to London with her, you better wrap it up. Or your
Not
wife is
supportive
gonna be
enough, Maybe she listens to the pod.
Yeah, no, she doesn't. Nice hat, by the way. I enjoyed Tokyo 2021. Did you go to the Olympics or something, or did someone send you that god awful hat?
Oh, you mean it's just a hat I got in 2020? Before the Olympics were canceled because of the whole COVID thing. So I like the hat. I needed a hat because my
Rubio,
hair is completely
you're
messed
lacking
up.
energy. You're lacking energy today. I don't know why. What is it? It's like you're a wet noodle. We need you to pick it up. Let's go.
A wet noodle. What is that? That is
I'm
just
just saying, a
absolutely
wet noodle
aggressive
just
behavior.
sits there and it's like blah blah, just like
He doesn't
Rubio.
like. He doesn't like taking last on the whole panel for
I wish I
for the
could eat a chip
coordinators
right
chat.
now. That's all I wish.
I'll buy you one and send it to you,
Yeah,
and you eat it next week on the pod.
eat it
All right,
next
fair
week.
play.
Is
Are
that
you?
confirmed?
That's fine. Yeah, send it.
Okay.
Fuck yes.
All right. You asked for it. You're being
You're
all.
eating
You,
a packy chip, and nothing was on the line except you finished last out of the coordinator free roll here.
Hey, I don't back down from a challenge. That's
All
just
right,
me.
He obviously wants some attention, and we're gonna give it to him. He's gonna eat the hot chip next week.
You better be
hopefully we'll get it in
prepared.
a week. Remember, it took me like
Better
a
be.
month to get it. It's
then
not
2
easy.
weeks after this show. I'm getting your
Okay.
address. I'm buying the chip, and I'm sending
Yeah.
it to you on Amazon.
Why are you so tired, Rubio?
Still tired. I woke up just a little minute ago.
Yeah, what were you doing?
Sleeping.
I know.
Yeah, that was.
All right, Rubio, you know what? Title said you were a little frustrated because you were not going first. I don't know if there was anything behind that, if you had a
What?
conversation with
Going,
he just said
going
that. He's
first
like,
in what?
Yeah.
said you need to go
The contest?
first. I'm going to let you go first. You're a quarterback, okay? Are you
Oh.
excited? You ready to go?
I'm never salty about not going first.
All
Lets
right,
me
wake
gather
up,
my
wet
thoughts.
noodle. Let's go. Can't believe you're eating a chip. You didn't even put anything in the line. That's so dumb. I love it.
I just want to see how I'll react to it because
All right.
I know I'll react better than you did.
I was gonna say he honestly, like, you can tell he kind of wants to do it
Yes.
because
I
he's
want to. I want the smoke. I want the
and now
smoke.
it's for free
I feel like he's wanted to do this since
for a
I did
while.
it.
Yeah.
Like for a year, he's been asking to do this, and finally, all you had to do is go, "Hey, Rubio, you want to eat a chip?" He's like, "Yeah, I want to eat the chip." It's
Perfect.
hot, Rubio. It's hot. I'm just to tell you this, just a word of advice: drink some Pepto-Bismol beforehand, and that's it. You're not even going to do that.
He's gonna literally probably have McDonald's right before it, and then
I got Indian waiting in my room
Your
right now.
ass is
So
going to be so sore. Hopefully,
Yeah,
that
I'm
is
not-
not taken out of context.
he's gonna do it in the beginning.
Ooh,
and
should
then
I
he's
wear
gonna-
glasses?
He's no, and then he's gonna see if he can talk all the way through when you're asking about running backs and
What's I mean?
quarterbacks.
The contacts thing makes sense. I wear contacts. So should I
Oh,
wear my
then-
glasses
If you
Why would
don't
that
think you
matter?
could restrict yourself from,
so I don't have to take my contacts out at the end of the night?
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm gonna be careful about my eyes. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
one thing I'll be
yeah,
careful
that's
with.
fine. That I thought you meant sunglasses. Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
The
don't
only
put
thing I'm
that
not
stuff
gonna be
in your
careful
eyes,
with
man.
though
That's
is Patrick
so bad.
Mahomes this week.
Yeah.
I'm backing the Chiefs. I'm
All
backing
right.
the Chiefs here.
You're back in the Chiefs. Okay, so here we go. We got Mahomes 8-3 on DK, Murray, Lamar, Herbert. There's so many options. Dak, I don't want to mess with Dak this week. Stafford at the Giants, Burrow against the Detroit, Heineke against the Chiefs. Like Rubio, there's so many ways to go, but we got to narrow it down. So give me 3 or 4 names.
Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson.
Okay,
That's it. Those are the two.
that's
But
it.
I think if you have to go down, Taylor Heineke, I like the 5-8 tag. I think the Chiefs defense is just an absolute joke at this point. I think Washington's going to put up points. The game total is completely risen to like almost 56 now, or it might be above 56. So, and that game is just going to be the one I'm looking at. I think it's easy to kind of decide who Mahomes is going to want to target, especially with Kelsey and even like a Tyreek Hill or even a McCole Hardman. I just think there's a lot to do. And you also look at the running back position with Clyde going down. You have McKinnon who split snaps with Darrell Williams. You can also create like just basically a quarterback, running back, tight end / wide receiver stack where you can get 3 guys on one of the best offenses in football and still have plenty left over to work with. You can run it back with the a J.D. McKissick or an Antonio Gibson. Like that game just gets me excited, and that's why Mahomes and Heineke are my 2 top guys. but I can't ignore Lamar. I mean, we just saw that the Browns put up 41 or 42 against the Chargers, and Lamar just comes off one of his best games of his entire career against the Colts, and he's running it at just extremely high rate right now too, with 14 carries last week. At 7-4, it's also going to be hard to ignore him. But I'm keeping it short and simple this week, and that's the Chiefs game and Lamar Jackson, because Joe Burrow's, they just didn't throw the ball enough. They left a lot of points on the board. Just not a whole lot of great matchups beneath these guys. I just think it's cut and dry. I really do.
Wow. Title. That's some interesting takes there from Rubio. Not even looking below or down to Heineke. He doesn't like Burrow. This is the master GPP plan. I actually don't mind it. I don't like his strategy, but it's different. That's the only thing I could say about it, Title. What are we doing here? Cash, single entry GPPs. What are you looking at?
I mean, I'm pretty lockstep, not in everything that Rubio said, but there's two games that really stand out to me, and that's the Chiefs, Washington, and then it's Baltimore and the Chargers. And those are the two games I'm going to get plenty of exposure to. So I love Lamar. 7.4K is too cheap. He has a lot of rushing upside. I'm going to go right back on the same game on the other side, though, and go back to Justin Herbert. I know I talked about it last week. I have the future on the Chargers to win it. He absolutely broke the slate last week, him and Tom Brady. They're 3-point dogs. I'm on the Charger side on that. I already bet Chargers +3. Justin Herbert's just a complete stud. Their coach makes the right plays. They go for it, which gives him more opportunity. Keenan Allen's still way too cheap, who's easy to pair with. Or you can go Mike Williams, who's going to be lower owned. You have Eckler still you can mix in. So it's very easy to stack the team. It's easy to find a run back. So I like Lamar, but I really like Justin Herbert, who's going to be way lower owned in tournaments. And then, I like Mahomes, and I like Taylor Heineke. If I'm punting, I like going Taylor Heineke. The Chiefs can't stop anyone. He's below 6K. He has rushing upside. I think he's a very strong play if you want to punt quarterback with a ceiling. And then, Patrick Mahomes, I expect to bounce back. Again, Washington's D is not even close to what we thought in the beginning of the year. Secondary is awful. No Clyde Edwards-Helaire now. I expect Mahomes to have a great day. So those are my 4 favorite quarterbacks for sure. If I was to add anybody, it probably would be a Jared Goff and just fully punt at 5.1K going against Cincinnati, who I'm not impressed with their defense either. And then I can pay up at other spots, and then I just get a different roster construction. So 5 quarterbacks for me. Lamar right now stands out as my favorite, the safest for like cash and single entry. His price tag is rushing upside and stuff, but I'm going to mix in the other ones in tournaments.
I'm just trying to find Ty God Taylor's price, and it's a 10-game slate this week. There's not that many games. I'm trying to find Tyrod.
He's 5.1K as well.
Okay, so 5.1 also. So we just talked about another Jared Goff. Personally, like if Tyrod comes back, what you see out of this Colts defense and what I saw out of Tyrod when he came here, he got you 23.5 and 16.5. And he runs. He's get you 40 yards, 15 yards. So would you at least throw Tyrod in the player pool if he is active, considering – I'd rather have him than Goff, but that's just me.
Yeah, I still would rather Goff. Both are in the dome, so that's fine. You get a little more rushing upside with Tyrod. Texans right now implied for 17 points. The Lions 22.5. I like what I've been seeing from Goff. I think the 300-yard bonus is definitely in the realm of possibilities. The Lions have been fighting, so I think the game does stay close. I'm not worried about – I just think they move the ball a lot more. Is Tyrod, is he – I haven't even looked at anyone on the Texans really. Is he expected to come back this week?
Yeah, he's back practicing. 100%. We're hoping that he starts this week. Hoping.
I was going to say Davis Mills is coming off a career day, so I wasn't sure if they'd rush it. He had 316 yards, 2 touchdowns, but I like Jared Goff personally at home in the dome. They're both in the dome though. I lean Goff. I think his 300-yard upside's a little more, but Tyrod does have the rushing upside.
All right, RPS NBA 15% off the lifetime of your subscription. This is supposed to be good until NBA tips. It's next Tuesday. I thought it was next Monday, but it must be next Tuesday. Yeah.
Ring night in Milwaukee date? Next Tuesday.
What's today's date?
October 13th.
All right. So I got some birthdays coming up. Oh, shit. Did I forget my best friend's birthday? I think I did. For the second straight year, he's October 12th. Fuck. All right, let me call
You don't
him
have
after the show.
you don't have like Facebook or something that like it pops up on when
Who
their
uses
You don't
birthdays
have
are.
Facebook?
Facebook.
Who
I don't
uses-
use Facebook. I don't
Are you
use
90?
Facebook, but no, I don't use Facebook. But you're 90, and
But I don't
feel
use Facebook.
well, that's what I was asking. I wasn't
no.
sure. Your generation does use Facebook.
My
So.
I always say this. I'm like, why are people using Facebook anymore? There's so many other ways to do it. I mean, sure, the other places will send your information to China so they could have AI on you, but at least it's not Facebook doing it. They don't have the capabilities that Facebook does. So yeah, I mean, he's not going to be happy. And tomorrow's mom's birthday, and then the sister. Okay, I got a lot going on with birthdays here. RubioDimes. Christian McCaffrey's back this week. You want to just throw him right in there? Highest price running back, 8.8. Eckler 7.9. What do we want to do at the top here? Let's start with McCaffrey, and then I want to get Title's thoughts on CMC.
I like McCaffrey quite a bit. I mean, it's just the fact of the matter is, like, there's not a whole lot of studs to work with. You can't trust Dalvin. I hate Aaron Jones. Austin Eckler he is what he is. I'm not really one to get excited for Austin Eckler. So if Christian McCaffrey plays, I'm going to have a lot of interest. But this kind of goes with our
something?
points.
Right as you said, if Christian McCaffrey plays, David Newton, the Panthers beat writer, Christian McCaffrey will likely be a game time decision again. So it's going to be painstaking. If he plays though, don't we play him? Nobody's going to be on him, are they?
I'm spending up at quarterback. I'm spending up at tight end. So you can kind of see where my build's going to go.
Okay.
But if McCaffrey is in, like Title said last week, he has the ability to absolutely break any slate he is on, and probably at low ownership. So I 100% get the play, but I'm going to be moving down. I'm kind of curious. I think Title's probably going to agree, but I'm moving down from running back.
50-50 chance is what Matt Rule says. 50-50 chance of him playing. What are you doing if he plays?
If he plays in tournaments, I definitely like McCaffrey. I mean, he's 8,800. Get McCaffrey below 9K. I know I talked about it last week on the show, but he had the same situation. He had an ankle injury last year. Obviously, this is hamstring, but you missed multiple weeks. He came back. He touched the ball over 20 times. He was 8% owned, or maybe even less, and he broke the slate. Like, if McCaffrey's playing, I think he's going to get about 20 touches. And at 20 touches at 8,800 against this Vikings defense at lower ownership, I'll play. I'll be definitely overweight in tournaments for sure.
All right. Well, let's stick with you. Yeah, since Rubio did the quarterbacks first. Austin Eckler just keeps rolling, man. Like, not a great matchup last week, if I remember correctly, and then he just smashed again. He has, if he stays on the field, he's as good as anybody. Your boy Aaron Jones, I think, could be in for a nice week this week. Might be some nice leverage off of Devontae Adams. There's a lot here. There's a lot here to digest. Can you go maybe DraftKings 6K and above? Because there are so many options this week. Even Henderson is in.
I was going to say, you said 6K and above, and that's a lot of options.
I know.
Yes, we talked about McCaffrey, Austin Eckler 100%. I mentioned Herbert. I'm just so bullish on this Chargers team, and it runs through Eckler a lot of it. He can run. He can catch out of the backfield. He's explosive. I really like Eckler at 7,900. I like that whole game. Aaron Jones feels too cheap to me at 7,300. Should have a good game script. What are they? Packers 4.5-point favorites. So I really like that. I'm not sure about the weather too. It's raining here in Wisconsin right now. I know they're playing at Soldier Field, but the whole Midwest, now that we're getting in the time of the year, late October, November, December, weather starts becoming a factor. So they might run the ball even more with Aaron Jones. I think 7,300 is too cheap. After that, so we're talking about Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb. I know you've talked about those two multiple times in the past about cash and what do you do with them? I mean, they're absolutely both smashing right now, which, it sucks because they take some of their ceiling away from each other, but they're still lately been hitting their ceiling. I think playing one of them in a lot of GPP lineups makes a lot of sense. I think they're going to exploit Arizona on the ground. They're not, you need against Arizona to beat them. Their offense moves so fast. You need the ball out of Kyler's hands. The way the Browns do that is pound the football. I think one of them has a big day, 7,200 Chubb, 6,200 Kareem Hunt. I don't even know if I have a preference, to be honest. It's truly a coin flip, and I'll be about similar to both of them. A couple other guys, Jonathan Taylor, 6,600. He'd be 7,500 if he was on the main slate instead of the Monday night game with what he just did. He gets Houston, great game script. I'm a big Jonathan Taylor guy. I've played him a lot, so I like him even more this week. And then DeAndre Swift and Darrell Henderson are my last two, I'll say. Henderson should a really good game script against the Giants. He's only 6K. He's McVay's guy. Michelle comes in once in a while when Henderson was beat up, but they still went right back to Henderson. He's definitely the running back one there. And Swift is just a PPR monster at 6,300. These games, I mean, if they're winning, that's fine. If they're down by a lot, it's fine. He's going to catch passes. He has rushing touchdown equity. He's just a really good running back and a good matchup for if I like Goff, I can stack him with Swift because his passing upside. So I know I mentioned a good amount of guys. The upper tier above 6K is absolutely loaded. And there's a couple guys who will get below 6K eventually, but I really like this range.
Okay. RubioDimes. You said you're paying up, right? You're paying up at quarterback. You're paying up here at running back?
No. The opposite. I'm paying up at quarterback, correct, but I'm paying down at running back. Okay. So all these 6K guys make a lot of sense. I mean, you're only going to commit 18K of salary if you play 3 of them, basically, or probably a little less if you only play 2. But kind of harping on the point that Jonathan Taylor, where we saw that 76-yard touchdown to open the Sunday night football game, was kind of like wild. Or was that Monday night? It was
Monday because Mahomes and Allen.
He ends up with 35 and another game where he just had 23. They say like the perfect script for him is 15 to 20 carries. So it kind of scares me in that regard that I don't know if he can always get enough work, but the upside there is just tremendous. And it is a Houston matchup to where like, wow, even if I'm not a Jonathan Taylor guy like you are, title, I got to like him this week. And that's just the biggest thing. We saw Damian Williams and Khalil Herbert split snaps last week, which is kind of worrying. They split the kind of same amount of carries. But I think that, with them kind of dominating the game against Las Vegas, that if we see the Bears kind of trail this week, we can see Damian Williams get a lot more work in the pass game. I know he's right below that 6K tier, and I'll kind of touch on that range a little bit. But Chase Edmonds there at 5.6 as well. You're going to hopefully see a great game in that Arizona and Cleveland game. And a guy like Chase Edmonds with so much talent, so much of a role in the passing game, it just makes a lot of sense to kind of target him. And you can even, it correlates with like a Nick Chubb or a Kareem Hunt, like you mentioned earlier, where like Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt, one of those guys is probably going to do something. And Chase Edmonds is a little bit of a run back, would be a nice way to kind of like, spread out your running back exposure a little bit. One guy that I kind of want to mention, just because he is getting all the work when he is healthy, is Darrell Henderson Jr. at 6K. This is a great spot, most likely for the Giants. And when he is healthy, he gets 80% plus of the snaps. And, last week he got nicked up. Sony Michel came in. Sony Michel actually ended up scoring. But I just think Darrell Henderson at 6K is a guy who's going to be worth, 7.5K. It's a matter of him staying on the field. I think he's one of the best running backs. And he's the one guy that I'm looking at the most this week. Guy I kind of want to mention, Joe Mixon. Wasn't healthy last week, clearly. Only got it 10 touches total, or I think 11. This week should be different. If we get word that he's going to be fully practicing, there's no limits or anything on his ankle. This matchup is great. 6.4. Another running back could get 80% of the snaps with Samaje Perine going down. It's going to be him and Chris Evans only. So kind of looking in that range. And, we obviously have the Kansas City value with Darrell Williams at 4.9, but I'll let you kind of get that a touch on that a little bit.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to go look at some of the lower guys. Darrell Williams with the Chiefs, maybe cash is, 4.9 on DraftKings. How do we not at least look at him? And I get it. McKinnon's there to catch some passes, but I think on the other side, McKissick is probably my favorite running back in that game with Washington, especially if they fall down. I know that Gibson could catch passes, but boy, like they trailed a couple weeks ago, McKissick just gets massive volume and at 4.8. These are just tournament plays. And the other guy I'll bring up is Devontae Booker. Very uncomfortable, right? You said Devontae Booker, he's taking on the Rams. Well, the Rams have given up over 4.3 yards per carry. They have yielded over 135 yards and almost a full touchdown a game to the opposing backfield. So Booker had 19 of the 22 touches in the backfield last week. I'm just throwing the name out there. It's a guy that I'm going to dig into as the week goes on, and maybe he's popular at 5.4. Maybe he is popular, but guys, I think Devontae Booker and J.D. McKissick right now are two guys that I will really be digging into as the week goes on. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, Darrell Williams, Devontae Booker, the two really cheap guys that are backups and now step in with the starter out. I think both are very strong plays if that's where you want to go with your roster construction. It's really just comes down to, do you think they have the upside, and do you like their matchup enough that you can avoid a DeAndre Swift or Darrell Henderson for about 1,000 more, 700 more, or do you not? Personally, I'm on the Swift Henderson 6K route. Jonathan Taylor, I'm going to chase that upside a little more, but I think Darrell Williams and Booker are very strong plays. I prefer Darrell Williams. I prefer picking on this Washington defense over the Rams defense. They're going to spread it out. They're going to be focused on Tyree, Kelsey, and all that. So give me Williams over Devontae Booker if I have to pick, but both of them are very strong plays for sure.
I like Henderson a lot too. There's no way I'm going double spend down running back this week, though. You just can't do it. It's just not happening. Any thoughts on McKissick, Booker, anything like that, RubioDimes?
Really like Booker. I think he finally just takes the whole role from, the Giants backfield, which is good or bad, depending on how you look at it. But the thing with Darrell Williams is, even before the injury to Clyde last game, the snaps were dead even across all three running backs there. It was even snaps for McKinnon. It was even snaps for Williams. And it was even snaps for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think that is going to be the case. I think it's going to be a 50-50 split almost, and McKinnon might even get a favorable work in the pass game, even though we saw Darrell Williams in the third and early fourth quarter get those passes in those drives. But McKinnon came in late and kind of got a little more passing work. I just think it's not as cut and dry as I would have liked it to be. I played Clyde at 4.8. I played Clyde at 5.4. So clearly I'm going to have interest in this backfield. It's just a matter of, can I convince myself to trust Williams if I know McKinnon's probably going to get a similar amount of work or snaps? I think I will end up trusting it, but there's definitely a little bit of a red flag in the back of my mind, where it kind of tells me, hey, I don't think it's a cash play. I really don't. I just think there's a floor to these guys that just won't be impressive, and the Chiefs can easily ignore the run game quite a bit, and it's just there, right? In the back of my mind. J.D. McKissick, though, I like him a lot more than I like Antonio Gibson. We know that Gibson's dealing with that shin injury. I think McKissick, in a positive game script where maybe the Chiefs go up and the football team's forced to kind of chase it, McKissick could definitely get 8 catches for 60 yards, and all of a sudden he gets there by maybe a fluke touchdown, and he's paying off his tag and then some, and it correlates to what the script that you built. So I think we'll see if I go lower than that, but that's probably the lowest I'll go.
Okay. If you are listening to us on a podcast, don't worry about hitting the like and subscribe. But if you're watching this on YouTube, hey, what's up, everybody? Hit the like button, please. That would be very nice. And then subscribe to the Ron Pure Sports YouTube page, that little red button with the sideways triangle. A wide receiver title, T.Y. Hilton could be back this week. He murders the Texans. He is 4.1K. I know you didn't expect me to start the wide receiver position off with a 4.1K T.Y. Hilton, but if he is announced in, is he just a cash lock at 4.1? How do you not play T.Y. Hilton? Against the Texans, he kills them.
Yeah, in cash, you can't go based on those narratives and all that, though. So, no, he definitely wouldn't. I mean, he's not wide receiver 1 anymore. He's getting older, and Michael Pittman's clearly wide receiver 1 in that situation. And they're a run-first team and should have a bad games group for their running backs. So, not a cash game lock. Throw him in your tournament lineup, because, yeah, he always seems to have a 65-yard touchdown against them. That is true.
So he's not cash. See, this is the problem. Now I'm playing so many more tournaments than cash. He's not even a cash play at 4.1, just a total punt.
Yeah, probably. I don't think I'll consider him in cash. I would rather go Van Jefferson at 3.4K. You save your 700, and I like that situation a little more. So,
okay.
Not a cash.
In tournaments, it is possible if 4.1K turns into 22 points if you're going to go to T.Y. Hilton. Hey, Rubio, what do you think of T.Y. this week?
Amateur.
No shot. I'm not going T.Y. Hilton. I know I'm an amateur because I had the mute button hit there real quick, but you don't rely on, years of history when he had different quarterbacks, different everything, and then say, oh, it's going to happen again. That's where you get yourself in trouble. I know he's dominated one team his whole career, but everything changes.
Okay, good breakdown there, buddy. Do you want to get to the rest of wide receiver? I still can't believe you're just eating the chip with just because you want to. So dumb.
I mean, I'm no bitch. All right, come on now.
You're no bitch? Is that what you said?
Hey, I'm just thinking I'm going to handle it a lot better than the way you handle it. And I just can't wait to show you. And just as much as I can't wait to,
that doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me.
Oh, what do you mean? How is it on the back of your mind still? This chip's going to be
That's
I
what I was
can't-
wondering.
It's not in
You
the
were
back
still
of my mind.
thinking about that.
Yeah,
So many things have passed.
such a minor part of my day.
Yeah. Okay. So it won't be.
It won't be.
It's
I'm
not
withholding
going to
on
be
that.
when you.
I can tell you one thing: the pod will be at night.
It has to be at night.
I think it does. I'm not gonna. I don't want to torture myself the whole day. I
Like
think
during an NBA game, like Title's gonna be looking at the
Ooh.
NBA.
Yeah, we might need to. We should probably do it at like 1 again.
I think we should do it in the afternoon. That way you could clean everything out. You'll be ready to go at night.
all right.
If
we'll
the
see.
chip even gets there, maybe it's even going to be 2 weeks.
That's
I don't
true.
even
It could
know.
Could take
definitely
a
be
month.
another week.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
it could
serious.
take a
Like, I had to
month.
dig everywhere to go find a damn chip that last. Maybe people aren't eating it as much. I don't know. But
Anyway,
yeah,
we'll get back to Rubio and receivers.
Yeah, it's not. That's not a good idea, Rubio. But that's okay. You go with that. Devontae this week, throwing him in. 2 things I want you to start with. Devontae, Mike Williams versus Keenan Allen, because Mike Williams is 8-1 on DK and Keenan is 6-4. And then I'll just say Terry McLaurin should be the chalk this week. But Devontae and the Chargers receivers, buddy.
Devontae put up the quietest 11 for 200 game I think I've ever seen in my life as someone who watched the entire game. The fact that he cracked 200 yards did not dawn on me until now, and I even played him. And it's just like crazy his upside. It's crazy the amount of trust that Aaron Rodgers has. And I just think 9K, and there's no price. You can't put a price tag on Devontae Adams and say it's too much. So I definitely think he's squarely in play. As far as Mike Williams versus Keenan Allen, as much as like Mike Williams, he's running good on touchdowns this year. I mean, he's got 6 in 5 games, and Keenan Allen has only the 1 touchdown, and that was a game where he was real chalk and actually ended up kind of getting bailed out by it. I'm still going to lean Keenan Allen with the price saving, especially like 1,700. And I just think, maybe that touchdown variance kind of flips a little bit. But Mike Williams is clearly the alpha there. That's no doubt about it.
So what do you want to do here, Title? I mean, in cash, in GPPs, we got these 2 guys with the Chargers. I kind of feel like Keenan Allen, he's not 100%. He never is, but he's got every bit the upside Williams does at 1,700 less on DK.
Yeah, Keenan's by far the cash play over Mike Williams with the safety. Not the safety, it's the salary difference mainly, but he's still. I mean, we've known Keenan Allen for years and years. PPR monster. He's gonna have his game for sure. Keenan Allen's a very strong play. Devontae Adams, top 2, not 2. 9K is still too cheap. Like you just play him. I don't know. I have played him all year. He has a 36% target share. Now he gets the Bears. He's the guy. You just take your free money and move on, I think. So I love him. Cooper Kupp is back in the situation on the main slate now. I like all 3 of these Rams wide receivers, to be honest. I think they're all too cheap. 3,400 Van Jefferson, 7,900 Kupp, 6,100 Robert Woods, who finally showed that he's a part of the offense too. I think those guys are in a very good situation. Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, I've been high in the Bengals wide receivers all year. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. I like them all. Jamar Chase finally is now priced up at 6,700, whereas T. Higgins is 5,300. Tyler Boyd's 5,400. So people are going to go to the Higgins and Boyd route. I'm still fine going after Chase. I mean, he's a stud. I like Tyler Boyd more. I'm always a Tyler Boyd guy, but no one's going to play Chase at 6,700. Then the last guy I'll mention, who is my guy.
You don't think they're playing Chase?
No, he'll be sub 10%
after
again.
last week in that matchup.
No, definitely
Beautiful.
not.
Then that's amazing.
Yeah. It's the same reason people don't play my guy every week in Justin Jefferson. There's people don't play certain guys when their prices are high and there's other guys around them.
Makes sense with Chase. It just doesn't make sense.
He'll be below 10%.
He's Justin Jefferson this year. He's this year's Justin Jefferson.
Keenan Allen, 6,400.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to go Keenan over Chase. He's cheaper.
Okay.
Then, Terry McLaurin, 7,100. People are going to find the 400 right there. CeeDee Lamb, 6,500. People are going to play CeeDee Lamb over Jamar Chase for sure. Robert Woods, you get to save salary. He's going to be below 10% again. But Justin Jefferson's my last guy. No one plays him. The guy's one of the best receivers in football, and you get him at 5% every week. So I'll say his name every time.
That's wild, man. What do you think about his ownership this week, Rubio? Jamar Chase.
I think it's going to be low. And I think Title kind of
awesome.
makes the point.
I love that.
He is the real deal.
Yeah.
And he even got missed on a big deep bomb near the end of the first half, I believe, with Burrow just underthrew him completely. It could have easily been or it might have been a third quarter, first quarter, but he easily could have had 2 touchdowns last game and go off for 40. He just has that massive amount of upside, and that is just something that you can't ignore with any receiver. These Bengals are frustrating. As much as I love the Cincinnati Bengals, Higgins and Boyd. Higgins got a catch in the first quarter. Uzomah had 2 catches in the first quarter. It wasn't seen again. Boyd wasn't seen until the fourth quarter really at all. It's frustrating, and I know that I don't think any of these guys are cash plays at all, but I think any of them on any given Sunday can make their hay. So I don't mind them, but you can definitely – I just don't think there's enough equity in stacking them if you're going to do like a Burrow play as much as I did last week. It just felt like it was just Burrow and Chase is the only ones who got there. And despite the Bengals, doing well in terms of moving the ball, no one else got there except Chase. So that offense kind of scares me outside of Mixon, really. But I totally get the plays. It's a Detroit defense they're going against. I'm a huge guy on Terry McLaurin. I think you guys should know that already with me being on the Chiefs and Washington game. It just, 31 targets in the last 3 weeks combined. I think 45 in the last 4 if you even want to take it there with Heineke at quarterback. So I just think the massive amount of upsides there. I like Mecole Hardman in the same game at 4-2. He had 9 catches last week with 12 targets. I know they were chasing the game the entire time, but that double-digit target is definitely something there. It's kind of nice to see. On Robert Woods, 6.1. There's a reason why he was just so targeted last game, because they made it a point to get him the football. 6-1. I'm all for it. I think that's going to be kind of a replication of what they saw against Seattle. I think they're going to kind of force feed him the ball until he's very happy. And, that one game I think is indicative of things to come. Last guy I just want to mention too, Jacoby Myers at 5.5, late game hammer. Last game was definitely underwhelming, but he had 26 targets in the 2 games before that, going against the Dallas team now, where I think he'll probably get double-digit targets again. I love him in that mid-tier price range, especially for his floor. Hasn't caught a touchdown in a long-ass time, but that's surely got to turn around.
I'm just trying to sift through here. Is there anybody we missed? It's like at this point, if you're going to roll with that Chargers-Ravens stack, don't you got to throw Marquise Brown in there? I know he can't catch the ball, but then he does catch the ball, and he has so much explosive potential.
Oh, that's a good shout. He easily could have had 2 touchdowns. Lamar missed him in the first half.
Yeah, but in the game before that, he should have had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And so, Mark Andrews is going to be owned, so you get leverage right there if you go that way. So
5'9".
He's 5'9" on DraftKings. He scores every freaking week. He's just a big play waiting to happen. And honestly, I don't even think you got to stack that game to play him. To me, he's one of my favorite receivers out there every single week because people hate him. He drops the football all the time. But he had 10 targets last week and he caught 9. And I think more often than not, he's going to catch – he's going to have a couple games where he just drops them. This is Marquise Brown. But what a home run hitter.
Target until the end of the first half last game. That's what's crazy too, is that he went off without a first half basically.
All right, so I like him. I always like him. And another big guy that I like, and this is going to be, I think, if Ruggs is, it's not Ruggs. If Surtain ends up moving over to cover Waller, I think Henry Ruggs still has that chance for that one big catch. He just hasn't, he had that 20 whatever yarder last week, maybe a 29 yarder. If the Raiders are trailing to the Broncos, he could make a big play, but this is a one-off and a deep dive at 5.2 on DraftKings. That's the only other guy I would bring up. Marquise Brown and the other home run hitter there. Is there anybody down low we could trust, like a Darnell Mooney? Does he have enough of a ceiling at 4.3? Donovan Peoples-Jones, as he actually got involved last week, and Odell Beckham seems like he's just an afterthought at this point. With rostering him, he's garbage. Do you guys, anybody else you want to bring up that maybe is off the chalk a little bit?
I think it's Mooney. I think it's Van Jefferson if we're talking below 5K. If I'm going to go anyone on the Raiders, I'm going Hunter Renfrow at this point. PPR monster. It's definitely Carr's guy when Waller's covered. So I probably won't get there. I'll probably just cross that game off as a whole. And then the other guy that Rubio said, Mecole Hardman, 4.2K. He's got all the upside in the world. I like that game. So Hardman, Mooney, and Van Jefferson are the 3 that I would punt with.
Yeah, especially with Hill kind of not near.
Banged up a little bit. Defense been keen on. Hill's been banged up a little bit. Defenses are keen on him all year. They don't want to get him behind. Mecole Hardman has a lot of upside for his price.
Yeah, something's going on with Hill. He had a minor knee injury is what they called it, and he's not going to miss this game. But it just anytime there's something wrong with these guys that are these Maseratis, right? They got to be 90, 100%, or they're missing something. So maybe it really is so minor that it doesn't affect them. I'm just throwing that out there. Keep an eye on Tyreek Hill this week.
And I'll tell you one last guy who I know hoop's going to play below 5K, Robbie Anderson. I'm not playing him at 4.8K, but
Curtis Samuel too. He'll play Curtis Samuel.
Curtis Samuel. No, I don't think he's done. I think he's done with him. Robbie Anderson, he's not done with.
I'll have to tell him on the cash show tomorrow. Do not play Curtis Samuel anymore. The guy.
I don't know about the Curtis Samuel. He didn't mention him, but Robbie Anderson, I know he's. Oh,
last week he did. Last week I was trying to talk him off all week, and he's like, "No, man, Curtis Samuel, I'm not listening to you."
He got hurt though.
So it doesn't matter. He
got hurt.
If I'm right once, he'll be right 100 times. But I'll just say, don't play Curtis Samuel, please.
No, I agree.
Don't.
Even though I did almost play him last week too.
I hope thankfully you played Tony instead.
I didn't. I played Waddle. Different route, but I did fine.
So every week I use Big T's core, JSU's core, and then I have a core for the main slate. And then I build my own team for the early slate, and then I usually build 2 teams for the late slate. I don't remember if he had Tony in his core or not, but with his core, I had Tony in there, and he must have had Tony in there. He must have.
He went off.
Huh? He went off?
He went off. He looked really good.
I would not have landed on Kadarius Toney just by myself.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't have happened. But that was, ooh, boy. And if he doesn't get kicked out,
yeah,
he probably gets another 5, 6, 7, 8 points.
He didn't need it. He already booked this.
Oh!
What's up?
For those of you listening on the podcast, Rubio
and the people on
kissed his girlfriend on camera.
And the people on YouTube, because how that goes in the podcast, you only can see one face at a time.
Oh, really?
So no one saw that. It was whoever's talking. Rubio knew that.
Fake news.
Rubio knew that.
It is not fake news. I was so flabbergasted that I couldn't speak. Why would you do that? Why would you kiss your woman? A woman that you have not even proposed to yet. A woman that you have not even had sex with yet. Why would you publicly engage in deep French kissing? It was disgusting to watch.
You taking it way too far now. Chill. She's going to work.
Kiss though.
She's going to work.
PDA, not cool, dude.
Oh yeah, that's why it wasn't PDA because no one could see.
Could you not get your ass out of the seat and like kiss her off cam?
No shot.
He wanted us to see that he got some.
I know. That's
what? If I do this, like that's unprofessional. You gotta.
He pecked her, and that's what he wanted us to see. His amazing loving ability.
Oh yeah.
You don't even French kiss your girl before she goes to work. What is that? Seriously, dude.
Your boundaries,
your
man.
Mom, you just kiss her on the cheek and then she goes.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? You kiss her like you kiss your mom on the cheek. It's disgusting.
Jesus, Holden, what do you do before your girl goes to work?
You don't want to know, pal. You don't want to know. I'm just gonna leave it.
I don't.
We'll leave
I don't
it
want to know.
Nobody wants to know.
We'll go to tight ends on that note because I don't think anyone
speaking of tight ends, no.
Rubio, I think we need to discuss your role here. Okay. Very distracting. You've derailed the show multiple times between picnics, and now you're just physically making out with a woman on this show. Please, can we act more professional, RubioDimes? As I tried to say that with a straight face.
We can be as professional as Van Jefferson at 3-4. That's my last mention. That's my last mention on wide receivers there. Van Jefferson.
All right. We'll go to tight end. Rubio. That was just stellar. Boy, I hope Simon can isolate that and we can have a new picture. I could see it over here. You could see it too, right?
Of course.
I think Simon's going to be able to dig that up. And we're going to have some fun with it, Mr. Picnic. Mr. Picnic Basket. Do we have to overthink anything here with Kelsey at tight end title? He's 7K. I mean, he's not going to be 7K again anytime soon, is he?
Way too cheap. I mean, he's a wide receiver. You look at him, who's in the same range as his wide receivers, and he's just way too cheap at 7K. We love the game. Mark Andrews was way too cheap at 5.2K. And the other game I absolutely love. Those two are by far my two favorite plays. But, I mean, there's three options if you want to go in the 3K range. Jared Cook, Evan Ingram, and Ricky Seals Jones. who was on the field for almost every snap. Washington's wide receivers are beat up, so I think that's a strong play. Ingram's a strong play. It sounds like Danny Dimes is going to play, so I think he's fine. Jared Cook, I like that game, so he's fine as well. But Kelsey and Andrews are my favorite too. Those 5 are the only ones I'm considering right now.
No, that was quick and painless. Yes, RubioDimes.
Travis Kelce, and then there's no one else in the slate.
Seriously, nobody else. If you had to play another player, somebody saying, I don't want to play Kelce this week, who are you playing?
I'm telling them to take my head.
Let's find somebody.
All right, fine. Mark Andrews 5-2, just because of the fact that he blew up last week. But, if you really want me to go fully like the way I usually
Johnny Munt. How about Johnny Munt?
No, fuck. Why would I ever play Johnny Munt?
Do you even know?
Even in the showdown, the guys were talking him up. I'm like, he's 200, but it makes no sense.
Hold on, they were really talking up Johnny Munt from the Rams?
Yeah, well, I mean, it made sense because like Colby Parkinson was then the tight end play, and you needed the salary. Okay. There was builds that made sense with it, but we don't talk about Johnny Munt on a main slate. No. That's a sin. That's a sin. But speaking of Johnny Munt, Tommy Tremble. I was about to actually say that. 4 targets last week. They want to use him a little bit more. I think it's very okay to completely punt position, especially that tight end position. If Kelce only gets like 18 and you just spent 2.5 and you got like 6 out of Tommy Tremble, let's say he doesn't score, you're still in the driver's seat. You might be sacrificing 12 points at the position, but you saved here to spend up at like wide receiver per se. So I'm definitely a big proponent of just like, punting in the absolute shit out of tight end. Maybe even like a Tyler Conklin or something where, you'll get a few targets. Maybe one of those is a red zone target, and that's what you do. But for me this week, Travis Kelce, he's 1K too cheap. He aligns with what I'm thinking this week already. Big on Mahomes, big on Heineke, big on that game in general. So it's all Kelce all day.
Title, this is just tournament though. Like if you want to go Ricky Seals-Jones, it's not like you can't play Kelce. You could just you're getting a wide receiver 1 at 7K in Kelce. He could be your flex. You can throw Ricky Seals-Jones in there at 3K, and you can build around there. I know you'll be honest with me. What do you think about that strategy? And then Rubio, I want to get your take on that too.
This week's definitely a week because there's so many mispriced people. And then like we talked about, like there was no wide receiver that was 3K that we had interest in. Like there was a tight end. 2 tight ends is a very, very viable strategy this week on DraftKings. And 1 I'll be definitely overweight on, and that's very rare for me. Usually I'll have no 2 tight end builds. This week, I mean, with Mark Andrews underpriced, Kelce underpriced, Cook underpriced, Ricky Seals underpriced, even Evan Ingram, like by far you can go 2 tight ends this week. I think it's a very sharp route, actually. If you want to go Devontae like me, McCaffrey like me in tournaments, if he plays stuff like that, it'll get you on a whole different build too.
What do you think there, Mr. RubioDimes?
I don't mind it. My first build through is it's a tough slate. If you want Devontae Adams in particular, and if you want 2 stud wide receivers with Mahomes and Kelce, you're going to have a bad time this week. So I think there is definitely the notion that a 3K punt is needed at one of these spots, and why not? A guy got 8 targets last game with Ricky Seals-Jones, who's probably going to see a positive game script. I'm all for that, especially if you're not going to be playing McLaren with him, or maybe you do play him. But I do like the Ricky play at 3K and think he's viable in the flex spot.
All right. Really good. We're done, guys. Want to remind you, next time when we do the show, the NBA will be underway. And if you're interested in NBA content, you don't have to sign up for a separate package. You just get everything. You get NFL, you get baseball showdown still for the playoffs. You get NBA, NHL, MMA, tennis, golf, anything that's going on, you can play DFS and you can get it here at RPS. So Run Pure Sports, RPS NBA 15% off the lifetime of your subscription. Title, wonderful to see you. Rubio, the whole making out with a girl thing during a show. Maybe I'll have to give you a ring too after the show and talk to you about being professional, a little more professional. All right, I'm Holden. Simon, get us out of here.